Okay, so what is your stand on the current conflict between Israel and Palestine? What is your opinion?
First and foremost, I will say it's very sad we got to this situation. I'm really sad about the kids that die from both sides, obviously.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
But I do see, the lack of will to design a narrative that can recognize the justice and the truth for both sides in order that we're going to achieve peace.
I feel for both Palestine and Israel. I can't pick. There's no picking sides. They're both civilians. There's civilians in both countries that are getting fucked over by the governments.
Yo, how you doing, bro?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you very much. I'm from Israel. Where you from?
I'm from the U.S.
Oh, cool. Which state?
Well, I was born in Montana, but I live in New Jersey now.
Oh, Jersey. You guys have in Jersey, you have a little Palestine over there, right?
Little Palestine. I don't know.
I think it's Patterson.
Patterson, yes. Yeah. Wow, you're smart.
Not smart.
That's close. That's close to where I live.
Oh, really?
I live near Patterson. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So how do you? Well, for starters, you're obviously you're from Israel?
Yes, I'm Israeli Jew.
Okay, so what is your stand on the current conflict between Israel and Palestine? What is your opinion?
First and foremost, I will say it's very sad we got to this situation. I'm really sad about the kids that die from both sides, obviously.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
But I do see unfortunately, the lack of will to design a narrative that can recognize the justice and the truth for both sides in order that we're going to achieve peace.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I feel for both Palestine and Israel. I can't pick. There's no picking sides. They're both civilians. There's civilians in both countries that are getting fucked over by the governments in both countries. And it's hard to talk to fellow Americans about this because a lot of them will pick a side, and there's no need to because it's not the citizens. And they're like, well, the citizens aren't making much effort. Are you fucking kidding me? We live in America. Our president's a walking, talking fascist piece of shit. Like, we're not making a difference either. We could be the same thing they're saying could be applied to you guys can be applied to us. It's hypocritical and it's ignorant, to be honest with you.
If I understood you,
sure.
If I understood you correctly, you are basically you imply a will to be pro both sides, but to differentiate between the governments and the people. Right?
I mean, that would be nice, but I'm just more so implying that there should be no shade thrown at Israel or Palestine. I think that the governments are the problem. The people running the country are the issue, and the citizens have nothing to do with it.
It's I can agree with some things regarding that. Both people have legitimate claims to be here in this land. But I will disagree with you that, both governments have the same accountability regarding why we are in the situation that we are. Why? Because, many times when I speak with people, by the way, before that, someone like you that express, this notion to be pro-Israel and pro-Palestine, and you live in the U.S., for me, that's noble. For me, that's exactly what people that doesn't live here and doesn't have, let's say, skin in the game, that's the role that you guys have to fill, in order to get us closer and not to be only Israel, only Palestine, then get us further from each other. That's number one. Number two, this is my criticism, my friend. You see, we have a government that was legitimately and democratically elected. And many elections, whether you agree or disagree with our government, okay? On the other side, we have a government that was elected in 2005, I think, or 2006.
I was born in 2005, and I'm not too familiar with the semantics of it all.
Fair enough, but that's why it's important also to understand the history, and that's for older cats like me, I guess, or older dogs, depends what you like. That, without understanding the context why we got to the place that we are, then we will not have a correct view on the reality. So, we have democratic system, and they have dictatorship. And everybody has accountability for sure. And I will say that because we have much more power, and in my opinion, much more claim regarding to rule politically over this land, we have more responsibility to initiate moves and to create changes this way or the other. But they also have accountability. And that's, what I say, and I want to hear your opinion, my friend. Many people in the West, especially, they tend to believe that justice is only for the weak, while the strong doesn't deserve any justice. But to be honest, in order to gain justice, we need justice for the weak and the strong in order for it to be balanced this way or another. What do you think?
So, like I said, I'm not too familiar with the circumstances. I'm not sure. I do understand to an extent that Israel believes that you guys have claim over the land because of religion, if I'm not mistaken.
Also, not only that, but also, yeah.
Yeah, that's what my understanding, and I'm also quite familiar with the fact that Israel's kind of just throwing bombs at Gaza. As far as I know, this is just. I'm an American.
Fair enough, man. Feel free to say whatever you believe and feel. I'm not judging you. I really appreciate conversation with you that come from a place of curiosity, honesty, and also humbleness. That's something really worthy. And even if I will not agree with something, I do respect you as a human being, for real.
That's just. I feel like that's just having common courtesy and empathy. You're a human being. I'm a human being. We're all humans at the end of the day. And when you have governments that kind of just want control over things and power, it really can dissuade the mind. It can dissuade the population and the people from the actual problem at hand and make them, fight each other. That's what we're going through. Our country's dividing itself, and we're fighting each other over political ruling that shouldn't be a fucking problem, because we also live in a democratic system, but it's turning into a tyranny / dictatorship because you get a giant fucking. Well, you give a giant man-child power. It just screws up. All of us.
Sorry to cut you here, man.
You're okay. You're good.
But I think and I believe that you guys are so far from dictatorship. So far. If you see other places in the world that have real dictatorships, like I'm not gonna go to the extreme, like North Korea or even Russia. Many countries in the world that oppose America are not even close regarding the freedom of choice, the freedom of speech, and the good economy that you guys have. For me, I see sometimes as a bystander that, view the things from Israel, 10,000 miles to you guys. Yeah. Sometimes I feel that Americans do not appreciate what they have. And Americans maybe try to think or gain something which doesn't exist in the world, which is perfection. There's no perfection in the world, but for what you guys have comparing to other countries, other places in the world, bro, people from Mexico and from other places in the world want to go to America and not the other way around. Why?
While I agree with you to an extent, and coming from a place of living here for as long as I have, only 19 years, I would agree with you. But right now, this is just from my personal experience. I'm a full-time cattle rancher.
A what?
Three cattle rancher.
You are like a farmer, with the cows and.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so cool, man. By the way, I really appreciate people that do, this kind of labor, which is with animals and farming and agriculture. It's really awesome. Yeah. For real.
It's a difficult life, and I'm going to be honest with you. Three of my closest friends, their parents were immigrants, but they were here legally. They had paperwork to prove it. They wouldn't have been able to work where we work if they didn't have the paperwork. And because of our current president giving certain rights to certain militia groups, ICE agents actually came to where I work, kidnapped them, and I haven't heard from them since. I know
they were illegal. They were illegal immigrants or something like that.
They were legal. They had paperwork to prove it, and they were kidnapped by unmarked cars and dudes in ICE vests came out and we're like, you guys got to come with us. Which is why I believe that we are getting close to maybe tyrannical leadership, because our president has not only talked about overthrowing our Constitution and running for a third term, which is completely unconstitutional, but he's also stricken people of their rights. And you say we have freedom of speech to an extent. I mean, I would agree with you if we were under Obama's term. Even Biden's term, everything wasn't all that bad. But right now, people are being legal citizens are being kidnapped and brought to countries they're not from. So, I mean, I'm not sure if I'd go as far as to say dictatorship, but I would say we are on that path.
Look, I mean, obviously you understand regarding what's going on domestically in America much more than me. I will be honest. Right. I mean, I know more about Israel than you know about Israel, but you know more about America than I know about 100%. America, for sure. You live in America.
Right, and you live in Israel, so you know all the bullshit that's going on there.
I don't know all, but I know, with all due respect, I know better than you what's going on in Israel, but you know better than me what's going on in the States, for real. So I will not, imply a position that you are right or wrong. I'm basically gonna say that I'm not knowledgeable enough, like you, regarding what's happening in your land.
Right, exactly. I can't.
And I want to learn. I want to learn because. America is having a lot of saying about what's going on in my country. And I need to get to know the American people regarding what people in the Democratic or in the Republican side think and feel. What do they expect for the future? You know what I mean? By the way, regarding, something very awful that happened in the U.S., with the assassination of Charlie Kirk, rest in peace. I don't know what is your position about Charlie Kirk, but
I'll give you that in a moment.
I'll tell you what I feel.
Yeah, I want to hear what you think.
I felt that before how he viewed Israel, the man was someone that engaged in dialogue and hard conversation, and he had a strong position, strong faith. He was really a man of God, like really man of God. Even though he's Christian and I'm Jewish, I felt that, when he uses the Bible in the politics that he's talking, I admire that. Of course, we have disagreements regarding who Jesus was, but the main thing was he was working and talking, and you can feel that he had the feeling that he has something above him, that he is lower than, that he's like... he has a grace in how he expressed himself and the spirit that he conveyed. And obviously, Charlie Kirk was a pro-Israeli, and he was one of maybe the last, American Republicans that really expressed a lot of support in Israel, while a lot of others turned and became anti-Israel. But before that, I think Charlie Kirk was a message. He was a message himself, someone that engaged in conversation, and I think that he left a lot of inspiration for a lot of people.
So, okay, I understand that position. However, I'm going to completely have to disagree with you.
By all means, brother. By all means.
I, along with many other Americans, do believe he was a scumbag. Now, here's as to why. I can understand how you could look at that and say, okay, he put himself out there knowing the risks. However, he fear-mongered. All he did was talk bad about the left and start problems, and he was very pro-gun, very, very gun advocate, Now, on the day of his assassination, there was a school shooting that took place in Denver, Colorado. Didn't get any news, nothing like that. Now, I criticize our government for that because really, you're going to show the death of a pro-gun, conservative male, white Christian, all this crap, while innocent children are being gunned down in a school because of people like him advocating for these gun rights as heavily as they do. Now, don't get me wrong, our Second Amendment, it's important, but doesn't need to be advocated for, because no one's trying to take our guns away. Nobody is. Not Kamala, not Biden. Nobody was ever trying to strip us of our Second Amendment right. Yeah, he was pro-Israel, but it was for the wrong reasons. He didn't actually care. He just wanted to piss people off. And I actually had the pleasure of speaking to him twice.
You did?
Yes.
You mean in one of the rallies?
He came to my college and did a little thing. Now, I'm from a pretty liberal state. My town is not. And most of the people who go to college in my state are educated.
By the way, before that, if I may ask, when you said that he was pro-Israel from the wrong reasons, what do you mean? I'm really curious to hear your opinion.
I don't think he actually gave a shit about the people. I think he cared more about the logistics and how logically it would benefit America to be pro-Israel. I think that's not a proper reason to care. I think the correct reason to care about Israel would be the people are suffering. The people in Israel suffering, the people in Palestine suffering.
If I may, regarding this issue, you know,
Sure.
Charlie Kirk, I think the first time he was in Israel was in 2016.
Okay.
And one of his first visits in Israel, maybe the first, he went to Hebron, which is the ancient, Jewish capital of King David.
Yeah.
Where, we Jews, especially the Jews who are very nationalistic, very religious, we tend to see Hebron as one of the main locations in the cradle of our story as a people. Where Abraham and the fathers and the mothers of our nation and King David was the first capital of King David over there too. But more recently, Jews always had presence in Hebron. And in 1929, because of the rise on the anti-Zionist Islam perception, the Jews in Hebron were massacred and expelled. And for him to be there and taking a picture with a big Israeli flag and making a statement, yes, I recognize this is integral part of your story as a people. You might disagree with me, but for us, it was, wow. That's someone who gets us. That's someone that really understands the depth of our story as people. And I personally believe that he did saw the story of the Jewish people in a legitimate way, and not only use it as a political interest to promote his own status. I really believe that. But again, we might have different opinion. Just, it was very important for me to say that.
Sure. Yeah. That's an important part of your culture, which I can respect that. I mean, I'm not going to claim to know anything about the Jewish religion as a whole. I do understand that you guys follow Old Testament, if I'm not mistaken. You guys, believe in very different things than Christians, which is fine. There's other religions. Your guys' religion's older than Christianity, so that makes your guys' more viable, in my opinion. But I kind of would deem that as a maybe publicity stunt. But it doesn't. At the same time, it's not really publicity stunt, because you're not getting anyone in America's support. You're getting people in Israel's support, which doesn't matter if you live in America and you're, a political figure. But I can see maybe he was pro-Israel for the right reasons. However, in America, he was not a very good person. He had some and this isn't even coming from a political standpoint. This is coming from a, dude, what the fuck did you just say standpoint. He had a lot of things to say about women and the way they should be treated.
Abortions also, I guess.
His abortion takes were not too good. His take on African Americans and gang violence in the U.S. was very poor. He used false statistics regularly. He wouldn't, and the other thing that we really were annoyed about was we all got the chance to talk to him. Why aren't we posted? Why isn't us winning a debate posted? He kind of cherry picked. He picked the ones that made him look the best, and that was a very narcissistic and deceptive thing to do. Now, I'll admit, when I was younger, I would debate people and I'd lose because I didn't know much on the topic. But having the chance to talk to him made me realize just what a narcissist he was. Now, like I said, we didn't really talk about the Israel-Palestine conflict when he was visiting the college, we talked about social issues. We talked about race wars. We talked about social issues with, women's rights, LGBTQ rights, all that stuff. And all of his takes, every single thing he said, just would hold us back as a society. Now, granted, he's a conservative.
Every single thing that he said, really?
Every single thing that we all talked about, yeah.
I mean, obviously you have a very antagonistic approach towards him and what he symbolized. And again, I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to disqualify you, God forbid. I'm here to have a conversation, from a place of, some things we can agree, some things we will disagree,
Oh, yeah. That's just human nature.
But one thing I want to say, because obviously after that, people that are going to watch this conversation, I want people to appreciate the fact that you and I have a conversation from a place of mutual respect. While we know in advance that we're not going to agree about everything with each other, but we might try to find things that we can agree, but more than that, to be humble with each other and to listen to the other without canceling whoever is in front of us. So in that sense, even though I disagree with you, I really appreciate you, to be honest.
Yeah, it goes both ways. I mean, it's hard to have a conversation nowadays and not have it turn into a brawl. It's even if you disagree, I mean, at the end of the day, we're still people. And honestly, the way I view it is whether you're from Israel, whether you're from Africa, wherever you're from, you're still our brothers. You're still our sisters and brothers, and we all need to work together to make this world
we all play a role, a different role in the big picture of humanity. What does it mean? That means I really believe in the slogan that says that unity cannot come from uniformity. That means that if you want me to be you and I want you to be like me, then we cannot recognize the uniqueness of each other, and therefore we will not respect each other, because we will never be the same. Some things you know more than me, some things I know more than you. Some things you are better than me, some things I'm better than you. But if I can recognize your uniqueness and value you and even want to learn from you, and you do the same also for me, and we can become better in our own unique identities, then I believe it's an energy that brings positivity to the world. And I'm going to take it a little bit to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. I think one of the reasons we are very, we have a bitter war for the last 100 years, actually. It's even before Zionism. It's actually, for me, it's more Islam versus Judaism.
Okay.
Why we are in the position we are at today? Because they abolish our story much more than we treat them, by the way, because we don't define our identity regarding who we are against. We have our own unique identity, but unfortunately in current Islam there's anti-Zionist interpretation that says that we do not belong to the land of Israel, that we have no connection to the ancient Israelites of the past, that we never had sovereignty here, that our Torah, and by the way, your Old Testament is corrupted and is null and void, and the covenant between God and us is canceled. And that causes, to basically see the other as something that is either illegitimate or a liar, and, no respect to the identity in front of us. I'm not saying, by the way, that we don't have also our own problems regarding how we treat them or view them. For sure, we do. Some of us say that they do not belong at all to the land of Israel or Palestine, whatever we want to call it. And more and more and more. But, when we cannot recognize the other the way that the others see themselves, there's no conversation anyway. I mean? Many times I'm here, and I'm going to finish. I want to hear what you have to say, brother. Many times I'm in this app, I speak with Palestinians, and from out the gate, they say, there's no such thing as Israel. You are not the children of Israel. You're not, your Torah is corrupt. So therefore, I'm basically don't exist, and they deny and cancel my identity. So how can we create a dialogue or even discussion with that, starting point? You know what I mean? You
know what it is? Another big factor that probably plays into that that immediate, like, what's the word? I think what plays into that dissatisfaction is they're all mad. I mean, I'm sure. I mean, like I said, I don't understand too much about it, but I can assume that if your country is at war with another country that is within close proximity to you, and things are getting blown up, and you don't really understand why, that would probably make somebody mad. Not gratifying their prejudice in any way, but it's an understandable feeling, because I would feel.
You mean like emotionally that because let me get you correctly, because emotionally they are very upset, they're very mad. It doesn't allow them to be rational and to.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
It fogs their viewpoint of the bigger picture.
In a way, I kind of agree with you. In a way, it's I think it's relevant and even correct observation. Not totally, but for sure, there is a lot of truth in what you say.
It's close enough. Okay. What do you have, like a TikTok or something I could follow?
For sure, you can see Jewish Dawa.
Got you. Hang on a second. I needed to ask that because you got a very professional setup.
I mean, I'm in my house. You know, it's not the studio that I'm going to somewhere and record. I'm in my house and I speak with people here. I edit my stuff. I post my stuff. I don't have like, by the way, this is another thing that keep coming again and again. I see in comments, yeah, you are a Mossad agent. You get paid from the Israeli government, blah, blah, blah. Man, I wish. Actually, nobody pay me shit. And I spend a lot of money on this, from my own pocket. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, when someone wants to delegitimize you and doesn't really want to have a conversation from a place of differences, again, to be honest, brother, when I speak here with people who are, we love Israel, we love you guys, I'm like, thank you, but I don't really have much to have a conversation with you because we're probably going to agree about most. So it's not going to be an interesting conversation, you know what I mean?
Right. No, I mean, it's really hard to have a discussion with people you literally agree on everything with, but when you can find someone that you can, you guys can find common ground, but there are still going to be differences, it makes for a more interesting and abstract conversation.
And this is something that I want to tell you, my friend, regarding the inner situation in America. Maybe, just maybe, for you guys, in order to really have a healthier society, you really need to get more in dialogue with the other. You, as I assume, Democrat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Speak more with Republicans, but from a place that, for sure you have the tensions, the political disagreements, fine. But you guys are destined to live together, whether you like it or not, whether they like it or not.
Yeah.
You guys are basically a nation, okay? So you have to find a way to talk together. Oh, damn. That was a good conversation.